Hey, this is John from RocketForms. I just wanted to shoot a quick video tour to show you how RocketForms works and show you how to set up a high converting RocketForm that will not only boost your leads, but also help you get better leads. So what does a RocketForm even look like on a website? Well, here's an example of a RocketForm that we have set up for a landing page in the pest control industry. This RocketForm right here is embedded right into the page. It can also pop up, but here's an example of an embedded form. Now, this looks a bit different than your standard ordinary form. It's designed to be more engaging for the lead as they're going through the process. It looks more like a form that you would see on a site like Home Advisor. And when we got started building out the whole RocketForms platform about a year and a half ago, one of the goals was to kind of change how lead generation forms work so they're more fun and just a better experience in general. And what we found was that by breaking forms up into multiple steps and making them look a bit like this, conversion rates start to really increase, and you also get better quality leads. So let me just take you on an example of how this form works. Let's say that I'm in the market for a pest control quote because let's say I have a pizza shop and there's a rodent in my kitchen, which would be a terrible thing. I would come into this pest control site, probably look around. You can see it's embedded down here as well. And then come up here and click rodent control. And then there's a simple question to start to get some more data about the lead, which then helps the contractor when they're quoting the business. So I would choose business, and then you can put in the zip code. You can also pull in the zip code from the person's location, and then you can grab some more information, like maybe something like I have a mouse in my kitchen. And then finally, when the person gets through the form, they are presented with the contact form. And by this point, they have already provided you with quite a few pieces of information. So what's nice is by the time they get to this form, typically people feel like they're kind of committed and then they end up following through and submitting the form. And what's special about this particular form is that you'll see that the button, we're actually pulling in that initial response. So in this case, I had selected rodent control and it's showing up in the button. And this is a pretty cool way to kind of personalize the button and boost conversion rates. If I had selected something like bee and wasps, then that would have shown up in the button. And you can also add in social proof. If I submit this form, then this number will actually increase. So it's real time and sliders and progress bars and all that stuff. Now, if I back up to the home page, there's different styles of RocketForms. I just want to quickly show you what I'm talking about. The home page has a different style, and well, here's what it looks like. This is called the chat style RocketForm, and it's one of my favorites because it's personal and it's just like a unique way to do forms. I found that when you add in your picture into the form, this is not me, this is the contractor. So when you add in the contractor or a picture of somebody into a form, it actually makes the form appear more friendly. And these forms, these chat style ones, they're simple, but the conversion rates are through the roof on these. And I think it's because they're so personal feeling. And it's the same type of process. You can scroll down. If I click termite inspection, it starts taking me through all of the questions. And then when I submit the form, the lead information will be delivered to the contractor. And then just to quickly show you one more thing, there's this concept that we developed at RocketForms called the on-site message slash welcome message. And this is part of the platform as well. So as you're scrolling down or going throughout the website, you can click on this little on-site message that will then pop open the form. And where this becomes really useful is on your blog posts and pages that aren't always about conversion, like think about pages that aren't designed to convert. And then if I scroll down, you'll also see that the rocket form is embedded right into the page. There's quite a few different styles of RocketForms. So if you actually go to getrocketforms.com and go to templates, you can find a whole bunch of different styles. So we have people in B2B SaaS using them, auto dealers, injury lawyers, divorce lawyers. Here's one for a moving company. So let me just pull this up. If we go through, you can like choose house, and then we have sliders in here, and sliders really improve the overall experience of forms. So there's all different things you can do with RocketForms. And speaking of that, I'm going to show you now the RocketForms platform, and I'll give you a quick tour of that and show you how simple it is to get these dynamic multi-step forms set up. And you don't even need to hire a tech team or a developer to do it for you. So 1 second, I'm going to pause this, and then I'm going to pop over into the RocketForms platform. Okay, so I'm inside of my account. This is a test account that I have set up inside of RocketForms. I have 6 forms set up in this test account, and each of these cards is a form. So this one's a form, this insurance chat style card is a form, so on and so forth. And what's cool about these cards is you get some little high level metrics like engagements, leads, and conversion rates of each form that you have set up. You'll see that the numbers are pretty much at 0 for all of these because these are actually not forms that are running on a site. These are just like example forms that I set up. I don't want to go into a client's account and show their forms because of privacy reasons. I don't feel like that's right. So I'm just going to use examples from examples that I have set up. So just looking at the left-hand side panel, you can easily contact us by contacting support if you ever need us. Here's some information about installing RocketForms. It's in this section. All of your leads will show up in here. And you can also post leads into your own service like MailChimp, HubSpot, ActiveCampaign, even Google Sheets. All of your forms are in this section, and this is actually where we are now. And then if you're white labeling, like if you're using RocketForms for clients, then there's a whole section to manage clients. So now let's talk about creating a rocket form, and I'm going to dive into an actual form inside of the form builder. The first thing to point out is when it comes to creating a form, you really have 2 choices. So if you're super busy and you don't have a lot of time to create one, or if you just need to get to a starting point, maybe you go into the template section and there's not a template that's set up, or you're having trouble setting one up, just use this message feature in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Let us know and we'll create one for you. We do that for free. And I personally love creating forms. I've created tons of these. So I have no problem helping you get set up. But if you do want to try this out yourself, then the easiest way to get started is to come to the top right-hand corner and click Create Rocket Form. Upon doing that, you'll end up in this template section. So we have templates for all sorts of industries, ranging from chiropractor to cleaning services to insurance, marketing agencies, mortgage movers, pest control, real estate, B2B SaaS, and we even have single step forms in here. So the list just goes on. And you can even come down here and kind of scroll through the list and look at the rocket forms and see like what one would you want to get started with. If you see one that you like maybe this bankruptcy form, you can click preview. And then my computer sounds like it's going to blow up as I run the screencast tool, so bear with me here. I'm kind of doing this off the cuff as well. So I clicked preview, and then this opens up the rocket form. So you can preview these and kind of get a feel for what forms you would like to use. Now, when you finally go to choose the rocket form, you would simply hit choose, and then the rocket form will load into your screen. You can name it, hit save, and here it is. So this is the rocket form builder. Now I'm actually going to back up and I'm going to show you the form that we have right here. So here's an embedded pest control form, and I actually have this, let me see. So I actually have this form right here. You actually see that there's one engagement, and if I submit the lead, then the lead will show up. But let me go and open up the form. So we'll start out and go from the left all the way to the right. So there's settings, and this is where you can change things like your pop-up behavior, the type of form. So if this form mode was pop-up, then all of these pop-up behavior settings would open up on the screen. You can adjust a whole bunch of things, including adding in Google Analytics if you want more advanced tracking. So then going across to the right, this is where you can design your form. So you have a lot of control when it comes to design. You can change the background, you can add in a background graphic, you can change button colors, the height and width of the form if it's a pop-up. And like if I just scroll down, just look at how much control you have over the design. And you should never have to touch code. I mean, you can if you want. We're going to build a way to do that. But for now, you shouldn't have to touch code to set up one of these super advanced forms. And there's even social proof, and this is where you control the social proof that I had mentioned before, and the progress bar and all that type of stuff. So that's the design section. And like I said, there's so much control that you have when it comes to the design of your rocket form. Now let's go across the steps. So when it comes to steps, there's quite a bit you can do when it comes to creating a step and changing a step. So to the left, you have the section where you can change and edit and update your steps and create steps. To the right, you'll actually see the steps in real time as you make your changes. And then down here is where you can see how all of the steps connect from like a high level. So let me take this and drag it. And if you look at what's happening here, you're seeing the steps flow from the first step all the way through to the thank you message. So the first step is where we're getting their information about the type of service that they're looking for. Then we're qualifying the prospect based on whether or not they are a home or a business. Then we're capturing their zip code all the way through to the thank you message. So to get to a step, what you would simply do is you would come down here and let's say I want to update the zip code. I would just click into zip code, and then this doing so opens up the zip code step. And as you can see on the left-hand side, all of the information related to the zip code filled in. And here's the form field for postal code. So if I wanted to add another form field, then I would just click add field and come down, and you can see that there's different field types. So we have a text field, a select field, which is like a drop down. You can add a slider in, and then some more advanced fields. And we're even including more fields now while I'm shooting this. So pretty soon there's going to be a calendar field and a currency field and a few more. And then we have field validation. So we have validation on the text, full name, email address, phone number, so on and so forth. Then we're continuing to build out validation features. So if you wanted to create a field, you would simply, if you wanted to create a step, you would simply click new step. And then upon clicking new step, you have a few choices. So you have a question step. So let's say that I wanted to create a step to pre-qualify the lead on when they actually needed the service. I would probably have a question step like this, and they could choose like as soon as possible, within a couple of weeks, or timing is flexible. I'm still looking for a quote. There's a form type of step, which is what I just showed you with the zip code. So this allows you to collect form type of information like a phone number. And then there is a text block. And this is like a thank you step. We typically use the text block on the last step. So this is the text block. Now you can also redirect somebody to a thank you page or a page deeper in your funnel. To do that, you just go to the last step before the thank you step, like the contact form in this case, and then you scroll all the way down and add in your redirect link. So that's the step section, and we'll have a deeper dive about how to actually set up the form, and we'll dive much deeper into steps, but I'm just trying to keep this as a high level quick tour for now. So now that we covered settings, design, steps, let's check out lead delivery. So there's some really cool things inside of the lead delivery section. You can send leads as an email notification, and you can add as many recipients as you would like by clicking the blue plus button right here. You can send leads as a text message, and this is really useful if you're traveling a lot, or if you're doing this for clients and your clients are traveling and you want them to get the leads right away. Well, you can have the leads get shot as a text message to somebody's phone, and then all the information pops up right on the phone. And the reason why we created this feature was when we were building RocketForms, we were trying to think, how can we build something that increases lead response time as well? Like, getting leads is one thing, but getting them to convert into a customer or a client is a whole different ballgame. And a lot of times, success there comes down to lead response time and just getting a response to somebody as soon as possible. So one of the things that we realized that we could do with RocketForms was try to find ways to accelerate that lead response time. And we're doing this through, and we found that we could do this through delivering leads through text message. So then outside of text message, you can also push leads into all sorts of popular systems like ActiveCampaign, HubSpot, MailChimp, ConvertKit, Google Sheets, and even Zapier, which opens up RocketForms to all different types of platforms. So like one popular one that comes to mind is GetResponse. You could push your leads into GetResponse using Zapier. And you can even push leads into your own custom system. So that's lead delivery. So let's talk about adding the form to your site. So when you're happy with the way the form looks, and well, first you can actually preview it by clicking the preview button right there, and then clicking preview opens up the preview, just click to demo, and there it is. So when you're happy with the way it looks, the next thing to do is to add the Rocket form to your site. And the way you do that is by clicking the add to site button right up here. And then this opens up this section where you set your target link. So in this case, that the one page where this form is on is right up here. So I just copy this link in, and then I pasted it right in here, just like that. You can block pages. So if I didn't want the form to appear on my thank you page, if it were a pop-up, then I would probably just block the thank you page. You can also add as many pages as you'd like. And then just going down, now to install RocketForms, all you really need to do is come down to the RocketForms pixel and hit copy code. Once you hit copy code, go over to your website and paste it into the head section of your site. Now, if you just want the pop-up to work across your site, like the pop-up and the on-site message, then at this point, once the pixel is installed in the head section, you're done. There's nothing left to do. Now, if you'd like to have your rocket form pop up with a click of a button, like maybe you have a button on your site that says get a quote, like going back to this example, get a fast free quote, that opens up the rocket form. So if you want to do something like that, just expand this section, and there's some really simple instructions right here. If you want to embed the rocket form on the site, then expand the embed rocket form section, and then you'll either take this line of code or this line of code, drop it on your landing page, and then that's all you have to do. So basically, if you can copy and paste, then you can add rocket forms to your website. It's super simple. And RocketForms works on WordPress. I personally use it on WordPress. It works on Unbounce, leadpages.com, ClickFunnels. I'm trying to think of all the different pages, website builders, Wix, Squarespace. I have yet to see a site or platform where RocketForms does not work. As long as you have a way to add the pixel into the head section, then you shouldn't have a problem. And if you do have a problem, then it's just a matter of shooting us a message and we'll troubleshoot and see why it's not working for you. But it's very rare to see that. So that is how you add RocketForms to your site. The other thing to point out is that when you get a design that you really like, then I suggest leveraging the clone feature. And what's cool about the clone feature is all you have to do is hit clone, and then this will duplicate a new rocket form for you. So as you can see, there's this one where it's copy, and then I could rename it. This could be really useful if you have a bunch of forms on your site or a bunch of sites that all will use the same style form. Then you can just set up one template inside of your account and continue to clone it. This could also be useful if you're creating rocket forms for clients, and like let's say you have a lot of clients that are like in the pest control space. Well, just set up one pest control form, clone it, and then switch out the lead delivery and add to site information, and that's all you have to do. So that is settings, design steps, lead delivery, add to site, and cloning the form. I think at this point I've covered pretty much all you need to know from a high level. Again, inside of the RocketForms platform, we'll have some more in-depth tutorials about how to build a form from start to finish. And let me pop back over into the dashboard and show you just a couple more things. So here is the pest control form. And if I open it up, you see all the metrics, and you can go back and view the metrics based on certain dates. We're actually building in step-based metrics soon. So we're going to have it show the conversion rates of each step. So you can know, like, if there's a certain step that's causing a drop-off, then you can go into your form and make some changes. We actually have that data now. We just need to expose it in a clean way inside of the dashboard. And then Outside of that, you can also A/B test your form to boost conversions and maximize conversion rate. So let me just show you one last thing, and it's white labeling. So if you're a marketing company and you're creating rocket forms for clients, then you have the option to white label the whole dashboard in the rocket forms with your own branding, so you get all the credit. So we have a bunch of customers who take rocket forms and they either resell it to their clients or they bundle it in to their service just to add more value. And what they do is they white label rocket forms so they get all the credit. Now, when it comes to white labeling, there's really two levels. The first is to white label the email notifications. So they come from a domain like leads at yourdomain.com. And that way you get all the credit instead of leads at rocketforms.com. Another way to kind of go deeper on the white labeling side is to white label the whole dashboard, put it on your own domain, and then to send clients to that instead of to get rocketforms.com. So for example, here is a white labeling account that I set up for a fictitious company. And you'll see that unlike the Rocket Forms login page, this company has their own login page. And then if I were to log into this, here's what it looks like. It looks a bit different than the actual Rocket Forms page. Like all the branding is removed. We're using some brand colors that I made up. Create form just says create form. It doesn't say create rocket form. So this company could essentially let their clients log into this dashboard, and you'll notice that this is hosted on a subdomain of getrocketforms.com, but it could be hosted on a domain like forms.yourdomain.com. So this is a pretty cool feature. If you're planning to white label rocket forms, you can create sub accounts and bring your whole team inside. There's quite a bit you can do here. But that's it as far as white labeling goes. And I think we're pretty much done the tour here. So I would love for you to give Rocket Forms a shot and to get in there and try to create a form, play with it. If you need help, we are fanatical about helping our customers, and I love creating these forms and helping out as much as I can. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Just come down here and use this little chat message, and I'll get back to you as fast as possible, and I will try my best to help you out. So thanks for watching, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you on the inside and seeing what you create with Rocket Forms.